Alright, in this video, we're going to talk about mastering your multiplication facts. My disclaimer is that there is no legitimate replacement for repetition. The only way to truly master these is by repeating them, doing flashcards, doing those 60-second tests where you just get a list of 100 and get as far as you can. That being said, I got a few tricks up my sleeve that I think can help demystify the magnitude of this table. So without further ado, let's get going. The first principle that you should know is that 1 times anything is itself. 1 times 8 is just 8, right? 1 times anything is itself. This column is going to match this column. So what I'm going to do here as we go through this table is just highlight what we already know. So in this case, we know the ones row and we know the ones column. Now, why do we know the row and the column? Well, that's a second tip in that you can swap multiplication. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean this. 1 times 8 is equal to 8 times 1. That's called the commutative property. It's special to multiplication. It also applies to addition. But we can switch the order of multiplication and it remains the same. You get the same answer. And so as we proceed through this video, you're going to notice that if I highlight a row, I'm also going to highlight a column. Let's move on. Kind of third tip, if you will. The third tip is that 10 times anything, you just add a 0, which is pretty cool. 10 times 2. 2 add a 0 becomes 20. 10 times anything, you just add a 0. And that works for small numbers and it works for big numbers, right? Because 10 times 11, you just add a 0 and you get 110. Pretty neat. Next tip, 5 times anything, you add a 0 and then divide by 2. So let's look at an example. Let's do 5 times 6. The tip is add a 0, then divide by 2, okay? If I'm adding a 0, that becomes 60, and then 60 divided by 2, that's 30. So 5 times anything, you add a 0 to it, and then divide by 2, and you get your answer. 5 times 6 is 30. So let's go ahead and highlight the 5s column. Boom and boom. Great. All right, let's talk about the next one. The next one is doubling. Okay, doubling is a mix of memorization and I think intuition. When you multiply by 2, you're really doubling. I think about the game 2048 with those tiles from back in the day where you go 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, etc. I think doubling is fairly intuitive. And so when we multiply by 2, we're really just doubling. And I think it's not super, I don't think it's too much to ask to be able to double numbers 1 through 12. So we're going to highlight those in green. Kind of in a continuation of that, if you will, is multiplying by 4, right? Multiplying by 4, we just double twice, okay? Multiplying by 4 means double twice. Double twice. Woot. So for example, let's do 9 times 4. 9 times 4, we're going to double it twice. 9 times 2, that's 18. 18 times 2, that is 36. We're just doubling twice. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight the 4s column now. And the 4s row. Boom. Boom. All right. 11. 11 have a cool trick to them. 11 times anything, you just double the digits. Right? 11 times 4 is 44. 11 times 8, 88. Boom, boom. Now this is applicable up to a point. All right, and I'm gonna be careful in how I highlight this. But this rule applies through 11 times 9. As you can see here, we got some fancy schmancy stuff. 121, 132, 144. We're going to get to those in a second. All right. The nines have an interesting trick to them. This is how I think about the nines. Let's consider an example. Let's do 9 times 8. How do we think about 9 times 8? Well, the way I want you to think about 9 times 8 is it's actually 10 times 8 minus 8. Now we know 10 times 8, that's easy. You just add a 0, it's 80. And then you can do single digit subtraction. 80 minus 8 is 72. Now the reason that this works, okay, the reason this works is because, look, we're doing 9 times 8. 9 is 10 minus 1. And so when we applied it to our problem, look what we did. We did 10 times 8 minus 1 times 8. So we're breaking the 9, or we're rewriting the 9 into 10 minus 1. 9 times anything is 10 times that thing minus the thing. 10 times 8 minus 8 is going to get you your answer. That one's a little bit more involved, but it sure beats trying to memorize what 9 times 12 or 9 times 9 is, for that matter. What's our next one? Let's talk about our next one. 12 facts. 12 facts pretty similar, okay? 12 facts. Let's consider an example again. Let's go 12 times 6. All right, 12 times 6. The way I want you to think about this is it's going to be 10 times 6 plus 2 times 6. Similar to how we did 9. 12 is actually 10 plus 2, right? 10 plus 2. And so we can think about this as breaking it down into the things that we're already familiar with, right? 10 times 6 is 60. You just add a 0. 2 times 6, we just double. That's 12. If you add 60 and 12 together, you get 72. And sure enough, 12 times 6 is 72. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight our 12s column for us. Boom and boom. Great. Okay, now I think we're making some sense out of this. This used to be a completely blank, discombobulated, confusing square, but now we got a lot of green in our corner. Let's talk about our 3 facts. Let's talk about these guys. Boom. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 unhighlighted expressions here. When I think about my 3 facts, I like to think actually in terms of addition. So let's talk about 3 times 8 for a second. Let's consider 3 times 8. If I'm considering 3 times anything, addition in my head is easier than multiplication sometimes. And so it might be to your benefit, instead of doing 3 times 8, to do 8 plus 8 plus 8. 8 plus 8, that's 16. Add a third 8, and you get 24. And you can apply this to 8, obviously we just did, 7, 6, and 3 as well. 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight our 3 row and column for us like so. And now we just got we got a few numbers left. Look at that. Let's talk about what we call perfect squares in the math business. Perfect squares. Perfect square, that's like saying 7. Oops, that's the highlighter. That's like talking about 7 times 7. A perfect square is when you multiply a number times itself. These are worth committing to memory. Some of them there are tricks for, but to be honest, not really. There's not a great replacement for just knowing your perfect squares. You would write this as 7 squared with a little 2 in the top right. But these guys right here, I'm gonna highlight the diagonal. It's anything times itself. It is worth memorizing those guys. All right, and then we only have 3 more actually, and the reason that it's 3 more is because remember, we can write the stuff, or we can do multiplication both ways. This looks like 6 things left to memorize. It's actually only 3. We have we got 7 times 6. We got 8 times 6, and we have 7 times 8. Yeah, best thing in my opinion is just to memorize these. That being said, if it helps, if you consider the 8s, these guys, you're really just doubling 3 times. So for example, 8 times 6, that is 6 times 2 times 2 times 2. So 6 times 2, that's 12. Times 2 again, that's 24. Times 2 again, that is 48. Sure enough. Same thing with 7. This is 7 times 2 times 2 times 2. This is 7 times 2 is 14. 14 times 2 is equal to 28. 28 times 2 is equal to 56. Sure enough, there it is. So we've actually really whittled it down to only needing to memorize one of your 12 facts. Hope this was helpful. That's how you memorize multiplication facts. Best of luck to you.